about, like Desiree Perez and her daughter and stuff like that. And I want to be an example where like people are upfront with you about their biases. So for example, in this case, y'all knew from day one, at least from the trial, like I'm very biased, like against Diddy. Like, bitch, I don't even care. I don't even care about fucking logic anymore. Bitch, take him away. Okay. The only thing that I'll give the defense is that they didn't have a strong argument for Jane Doe. But for Cassie, come on, bro. Come on. Like, okay, so point blank period, this nigga needs to be under the jail for the rest of his life, and literally nothing is going to change that. Okay, that's my one thing. I'm biased in this case. Now I want to, so like I said, let me get back to giving an example about the Desiree Perez versus her daughter situation. That's the case where I can confidently say, for the most part, I'm unbiased in that case. I honestly hardly don't even really give a fuck about the case too much, for real, for real. And the only reason why I really kind of have to care is because it's like, with like Nikki and her involvement and shit like that. Like, come on, like, seriously. Like, but other than that, like, that's some family drama that, like, it's just too messy. It's too messy. It's too watery. It's just too much. And I don't know who to believe, So it's like, on that case, I feel like I'm more unbiased. Like, I'm literally in the middle. I don't know what to believe. But on this case right here, I am very biased. So I want to start off with that so that you guys know, like, because I think it's important for anybody who is sharing their opinion to make it clear what your biases are, and for whatever. Like, for this case, very biased. I cannot overlook my feelings and emotions. For the other case, for Desiree Perez, I'm more unbiased, where it's like, yeah, child, I don't know. I don't have a dog in this fight. And it's no shade, but it's like, I'm 50%, but no, if I'm really, really being a little bit more honest with you, I'm more like 55, 60% on Desiree Perez side, because like, I just got the daughter, like she looks smart, she look coherent, but a lot of bitches be acting, like bitches be acting, and especially when they really are getting hurt and shit like that, and they man is doing whatever.
What do you do to make just an amazing killer party? Because
if Diddy's case didn't teach y'all nothing, like bitches be acting, like women will go to the depths of earth to cover up what these men are doing to them until they hear the end of it. And I know I'm spilling a little bit on something that's irrelevant right now, but I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. Not that you got to agree. I ain't trying to what's it called, like, convince you of anything. I'm just saying, like, where I'm coming from what I've seen thus far, and even like looking at that video and that evidence where they was like, oh, like, they was fighting or whatever. She was like, what's her name, Demore, was like, oh, like, but if the video was blurred out, but if you unblur the video, you'll see that I actually hit him with the Swiffer, with the mop. Okay, so then why didn't you provide a video of it not being blurred so that we could see exactly what happened, if that's what you're saying, what happened? Okay, so since you're not gonna do that, all right, bitch. Like, I really don't have really any reason to believe you, no shade. So that's really how I feel. I feel like, you know what, Desiree Perez, yeah, she crossed a lot of boundaries, but she really could just be a really concerned mom. And it's no shade. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like in Hispanic families and stuff like that, we go a little bit more. Okay, we could go a little bit harder. We cross boundaries and stuff like that. We will call the cop. I will call the cops on you, okay? Because get out. Like, we're not doing that over here. So yeah, like, no shade. Like, that's just why I feel like how I feel. Okay. But like for Diddy's case, no, you gotta go. Okay. You every time I talk, it's facts. Armand's live. I saw Tisa Tell's live. Did y'all see Tisa Tells? Oh my God, what are you guys thinking about Tisa Tells? That woman is crazy. Why was Tisa getting dragged? I stopped watching her because let me just say the blanket statement, which is like, Tisa was like too much. I don't want to say too much on the prosecution side, because I don't all the way disagree with Tisa. It's so hard for me, because it's like, sorry. But I don't all the way disagree with Tisa, because I feel the same way too. I want Diddy locked away too. But my thing is, like how I just did for you right now, I laid out the things that I was biased about and stuff like that, and I told you guys why. And I think that it's important to say, am I biased or not, and why, right? But like Tisa, she was so biased, and I feel like Tisa was a very what's it called? Like she was kind of like comparable to like Milagro Grams during the Tory Lanez versus Megan Thee Stallion thing, where when we was listening to Millie during that trial, she was making us think like, oh, like the defense had it, Tory gonna be free, Tory gonna be free. If you was mainly listening to Tisa Tells, you was thinking like, bro, like look how many fucking lives that I was watching. You're like, yo, like yeah, he gotta go, the prosecution have it. Like she would never really say like what's a weak argument that the prosecution had. She always made it seem like, and this is sorry, she always made it seem like, like Diddy is going down and stuff like that. And she's so fucking dramatic. Like she pissed me off again last week. I stopped watching her. But then when last week, when they was like, oh, the charges was dropped, this bitch will go live at 7:30 a.m. So bitch, I'm up getting ready for the day and shit like that. She live. So I'm like, I don't want to watch her, but it's like there's nobody else that's going live as often as she is and giving the information. So it's like I had no fucking choice. Well, let me tell you why she pissed me off so fucking bad last week. It's 7:30 a.m. and she actually, I don't know if it was a video upload or if it was a live, but I'm watching the shit back. And yo, she for the first, I want to say more than 5 minutes. I only knew it was 5 minutes because that's when I looked at the fucking screen. But this bitch uploaded I'm gonna show y'all. She uploaded a video of, oh, the charges dropped. 3 days ago, 7 days ago. Sued. Where we at? Charges. Diddy gave a big name. State charges vanish. Okay. Breaking. Here. This is where it was. Feds dropped major charges against Diddy, right? This is a week ago. Look at the video. It's 12 minutes and 4 seconds. I'm putting this on as I'm getting ready. Bitch, you get 5 minutes through the video and she's still only talking about the headline. She didn't even tell you what happened yet. She just keeps looping like, they dropped the charges. This is so bad. Da, 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 da. And she's not even actually saying what happened. I'm like, why are you still like, so sorry, Lizzie, to answer your question, why Tisa Tells is getting dragged is because the bitch is fucking over fucking dramatic and over emotional. If you look at her titles and if you look at the way that she's reporting, and these are the things that I was saying in the beginning of the trial, but bitches wanted to come for me in my motherfucking comment section, and it's understandable because she's a big creator, she has a huge audience, and even other creators are talking about it. Like literally, why I was just having lunch and I was literally just watching Pam, another good lawyer. I'm sure you guys watch her because I've been telling you guys about her, the child. This is all I've been watching all day. And even Pam was like, yo, like a lot of content creators, they don't like to comment on other creators and stuff like that. So I know that like during the case, or if you're watching other creators, they'll say like, yeah, like some people be in there lying. Like Armand would say it like, oh, people be in there lying, and they don't say her name, but I know that they talking about her. And so if you watch the videos that happened today, like live after the verdict came, people was calling her out, bitch, on the street. Okay, I'm outside fucking walking around and shit like that and shopping, and I'm listening to her live because I watched Armand first, and then I heard that while Armand was live, somebody was in the background saying, "Oh, they going at Tisa." So I go after I done watch Armand, I'll go to Tisa's live, and I hear and I actually watch it again, like when I came back to be able to actually look at the screen. But yeah, that's why people are calling her out, is because she was overzealous, and even this other creator. So I was watching Pam. I was watching. No, not Queen Sheba. This girl right here. I wish I found her earlier during the trial because I just started watching her like last week or so. And she's still live right now, probably outside of the courthouse. But she on her live, she was saying, oh, I'm gonna tell you, I got some tea for y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all something, but I'm not gonna tell y'all until I get home. I don't know where she from, but she in New York, for the case or whatever. So literally, when this is not, she didn't say it in this live, she said it in the previous live, because this is now about 2 hours ago. As I was getting to the end of her previous live, somebody was in the background or whatever, and while she's saying, oh, I'm not telling y'all the tea right now, I found out some tea yesterday, but I'm not telling y'all right now until I get home, while the other person said in the background, oh, Tisa's working with the feds. So then basically she didn't say that that's the tea that she got, that she was gonna say, but she was like, yeah, she didn't say that that was what it was, but she's like starting to talk about it, like, yeah, like, Tisa, she worked for the prosecution and stuff like that. That's why she didn't have to wait online. She didn't have to pay no line sitter. She always had a seat in the courtroom. She didn't have to do everything that everybody else was doing. And she said that she found this out yesterday, and she said that she found it out from a very credible source, a very inside source, which is from the beginning when she said, "Oh, I got some tea for y'all." That's why she didn't say it. She said when she in the beginning when she first said it, she was like, "Oh, I got some tea for y'all, but I'm not telling y'all right now until I get home." But it's from a very credible, from a very inside source. So when that person came and spilled the tea, I don't know if that's what she wanted to happen or if that's really the tea that she was getting to, but I'm gonna assume so. But yeah, that's what they're saying, that Tisa is working for the feds and stuff like that. And child, I don't know what to believe. Y'all know I don't be doing too much, conspiracy and stuff like that. But it's like I understand your passion, because it's like we all if for people who like, feel like Diddy should be locked up. We all feel for the victims that, like the justice was not served. But I don't know if I could like go as hard or be as like delusional as or as crazy as like Tisa is against Diddy or Millie was for Tory and stuff like that. I'm not sure. Now I was listening to somebody else like I showed y'all, and somebody said, I don't know if it was Pam, but I've been listening to so much within the last 2 hours, but somebody said it's not true or whatever, but people is just throwing it around. Somebody said that, oh, you really think Diddy is gonna come for Tisa? Now she has a huge following, she has a huge influence. When I heard other maybe creators talking a couple of weeks ago, they were like, well, there's a lot of creators out there reporting, but there's really only the top 2 3 creators that's really getting the most views, the most money or whatever. And the top 2 was basically Tisa and Armand, right? Majority of the people are watching them. And my point in saying that is that Tisa has been very loud, very bold about, what she thinks, what she believes. Other people are saying that Tisa lied. I don't necessarily know if Tisa lied for real, but when she did piss me off last week, when she took so long to talk about, oh, how they dropped the charges, it's so funny. And I had tweeted this because she goes live at like 7:30 in the morning or whatever. Then she says, oh, they dropped the charges. She's being mad dramatic. But then the whole rest of that day, everybody, and when I tell y'all, everybody, and y'all probably saw it because this was fucking last week, everybody was like, oh, like, everybody the whole day, all they were doing was saying, no, they didn't drop the charges. They just streamlined everything to make it easier for the jury to understand and convict. So they didn't actually drop the charges, but she leads with they dropped the fucking charges. Now, why would you do that? Like, and so sometimes like that's why like I don't be so quick to come live because you'll hear breaking news, but it might not just be that. And so sometimes you need to sit back and listen a little bit, see what's going on the timeline, see what's going on outside before you open your fucking mouth. Right. And so this was like, she definitely did piss me off here because I'm like, you're like, imagine me being pissed off right now because Diddy is free. Imagine how pissed I was last week when I wake up and she's out here saying they dropped the charges and they didn't actually drop the charges. I was so annoyed. I was so fucking annoyed. And so that's why I be watching all of these other lawyers because, like, because like they'll say like when the other lawyers get on, they'll say like, oh, like there's a lot of people like spreading misinformation. And no, not many people say her name because once again, people, they don't want to be caught up in the drama, right? But like, when they say people are spreading misinformation, I do think that they're talking about her, because she's only giving the agenda that she wants to push, which is the prosecution. And of course, I want to see that agenda too. I want to see the prosecution win too. But if that's really not what's happening in there, you need to be honest in telling us what's happening. And that's what I don't like about these trials and all these creators going to these trials is because they don't necessarily have a duty to be truthful because they're not trained journalists. They don't work for ABC, they don't work for CBS, they don't work for CNN. Bitch, I work for myself and I could tell you whatever I want to tell you because it's my opinion at the end of the day. And so I just feel like as anybody who wants to really put their opinion out there, the least you could do is have your facts straight, And so even like with Pam, which is where I go when I don't really want to hear too much personality or too much like commentary. When I just want to hear the facts, this is where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to Pam every time, which she's still gonna give you her opinion, but she's very much, like a real lawyer, like black and white or whatever, which I could still appreciate. Even when I was listening to her earlier, and she was talking about how like, yeah, like, like Crystal said, like the RICO was weak, she said that like, Diddy should be able to go home today, based on what they actually convicted and his time served and stuff like that. Like that is a logical argument if you are a lawyer, right? And I'm just like, child, you might be right, child, but I'm sorry, bitch. They need to keep that, like they need to keep him because I cannot agree to that. Like, girl. And she was saying like how like she thinks that being a lawyer is something that you're born with because it's a way of thinking that like I don't know if you can develop and stuff like that. And honestly, I kind of have to agree with that because which is why I respect lawyers so much because it's like to be able to to really take your emotions out of stuff and really just make decisions based on facts and facts alone. Like to say that, how would you feel thinking that, okay, he got off on some charges, but do you really feel like this nigga deserved to walk free today? Today. You telling me today? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, but
I play with somebody say for.
It's your girl Vina Love, the Harlem Princess, your favorite princess, and this is Destiny Below.
period.